Okay, hey, welcome everybody. There's nobody quite watching yet, but that's okay. They'll catch up.
They'll
It's
come
the
wandering in.
holidays. People are busy. They must be out shopping or whatever. I don't know. So
It's like, oh, God love you if you're out there doing that.
it is Wednesday night, 7 o'clock, and we are kind of doing well. I guess it kind of again we're doing a very recent movie, 2019.
Yeah, this is unusual for us.
DC
That's okay.
Shazam, and I have to say, having this is almost a make me watch because I had not seen it until
Yes.
the other day.
Yes.
Um,
Hi, Bill.
I enjoyed it, and I think this is one of, as I said, I think this is one of DC's better films. Honestly, I do.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, and
Um,
I'm glad you were willing to watch it because I really wanted to do it. Actually, I looked back, and the reason I found out, the reason why I had slated this in December was the sequel was
it's
originally
coming
meant
out, yeah.
to come out in December. However, it has been pushed to St. Patrick's Day. But
Yeah, it does say 2023 for the
yes,
which and now correct me if I'm wrong. It is connected to Black Adam. It looks
it
like.
is, and you actually see a tiny blink and you miss it glimpse of Black Adam in the movie toward the beginning there when the wizard is giving
Yes,
history.
right.
That's
Yes,
Black
yes,
Adam.
yeah.
Not only is it Black Adam,
It
but
wasn't
it's
that.
The Rock. It's The
Yeah,
Rock as Black Adam.
yeah. It wasn't really so much a blink, but it was more than a blink.
Yeah, more than blink.
Anyway, we'll get into that. Before we do that, you must have some news.
I have a little news. Let's talk about the news. Let's see what's going on in the world here. Shazam! Quantum Leap 2 got season 2.
Wow,
It's
I
not
haven't seen.
Quantum Leap
I
2.
didn't watch
It's
season
Quantum
1.
Leap. I didn't watch season 1 either. If anyone out there watched it, let us know. Should we watch it? I used to like the old one, but I mean,
I like the old one, but I wasn't like a huge fan of the old one. Like I'd watch it if it was like the only thing on,
I
kind of
suppose.
thing.
I watched, you know what I recently watched was this thing called an animated show called Pantheon. I highly recommend it. It's very, very interesting. It's a guy figures out how to upload himself and then where it goes from there. But once you get past that bit of true science fiction of uploading yourself, everything that happens after that is pretty science fact, and it gets a little scary. It's interesting. The Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse trailer has finally dropped. Everyone rejoices. I loved Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I thought that was a great example of multiple universes or multiple timelines done well. So I'm pretty excited to see Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. If you want to see multiple timelines, I don't want to say done wrong, but done really complicatedly, check out a show called Peripheral on Amazon Prime.
That's the new one that just.
That's the new one. I know it's not getting good reviews. It may not get a second season. It deals with something called quantum tunneling, which is a pretty advanced concept. So yeah. And what happens is as they create different timelines, they're going back in the past and like killing people off to make like a stub so that nothing further happens off that timeline. It's crazy.
So it's kind of like Loki, where they were doing like fixing the timeline.
It is like Loki, but Loki did us the favor of having the lovely graphic.
Yeah, like they would explain what was going on.
And they would use that graphic, like whenever the timeline starts splintering, they'd flash that graphic so you knew what was going on. Peripheral, you have no idea. You just have to like know where you are and what's happening.
Yeah, I think a lot of these shows, I think almost like I said, I think they get too clever for their own good.
I agree.
Like I think they lose a lot of the audience.
I agree. I completely agree.
Like a good one. Like I just finished Dark, and I just powered through season 3 because I felt like I was invested in the first 2 seasons.
Now we've done it.
I had to see the last one, even though I firmly believe it is the perfect cure for insomnia. And it's an interesting show, but it gets so convoluted, and you're like trying to, okay, what is this? Why? You're constantly going, who's this now? And then they bring in a whole new timeline, and then they split the universes. So there's 2 universes that are connected together, and they kept calling it the knot of time loops with 2 universes, and then there's a third.
Yes.
And it's like you're like your brain's like ready to explode, and you're like, okay. And then you add to the fact that it's dubbed into English from German.
Yes, German. Yeah.
And I like I said, like I've told you before, I'm like they're acting. I don't know if it's the way the director or if it's just something maybe that's a German thing. But like somebody will say something to somebody in a very question, and the other person will just sit there
and think about it. Yeah,
answer him.
Yeah, is it? Would you call Dark
there's a
an
lot
art
of
house?
soulful looking in this show.
Is
So
it like a German art house kind of thing, or
I
what? How
don't
would
know,
you?
but the same people that made this is on Netflix. Same people who made this have now a new one on Netflix called 1899, which is about a ship that comes across another kind of ghost ship in the middle of the ocean. That's all I really know, and there's like
That
nobody
sounds
on
more
it.
promising.
So
I
it
might
looks
watch
promising, which is what got me to watch Dark, because people were saying, "Oh, these are the same people that made Dark, and Dark was so good, and the ending was so good, and blah blah
Yeah.
blah blah blah." So I'm like, okay. And the first season of Dark was kind of interesting. It just got weirder and weirder and weirder. So I'm hesitant to
Weird.
watch 1899 because I don't want to get sucked into
Wait,
another
yeah, that is weird.
insomnia cure show.
Interesting. Yeah, there's only so much you can do with two ships in the middle of the ocean. Eventually, they have to go somewhere to interact with other people. But
So Sue's saying she likes the new Quantum Leap. I think
oh, she likes it. Okay,
so,
then maybe I will check it out. Once the first season will be done, I'll be able to like shotgun the entire season at once, which I prefer.
So
all right, let's keep going with the news here. Congratulations, Dr. David Alexander, our friend Orion,
and
has
NASA in general,
launched down, and NASA, the whole team. No, just Dr.
That's just Doc. He did it all by himself.
NASA's Artemis 1 Orion capsule landed in the Pacific to end its epic moon mission. It landed safely off the coast of Mexico's Baja Peninsula. And that's brought an end to a 1.4 million mile flight. 1.4 million miles.
Yeah, it was a long trip. I mean,
I believe it's the longest. And it also went the furthest away from the Earth that anything's ever been so far.
Well, that would be a manned spacecraft.
Yes. It's something that would go and came back.
Voyager and stuff is beyond the Oort cloud now.
They're well gone. Yeah, sorry, I didn't say that right at all. Sorry. Yes. It happened, the splashdown happened to be 50 years to the day of NASA's Apollo 17 moon landing, which was the last time we had humans on the moon. I'm very, very curious. I'd like to know from Dr. Alexander, inside that Orion capsule were three mannequins, Commander Campos, Helga, and Zohar. And I am very, very curious to see what data and information they get from them. So
yeah, they had some dummies in there to do some testing. Yeah, hopefully if he can, Doc's gonna come back on the show after things have settled and talk about that stuff.
I would love
it may be a while. I know he's on the West Coast right now dealing with the recovery.
Yeah, he's dealing with all that.
So good. Yeah, good on them. It's great to see NASA. We're going back to the moon. I'm glad to see some progress.
I'm excited.
And it's not the ISS. We're getting a little boring.
Yeah,
a little run of the mill.
And the exciting thing is, it's not like 10 years away that we're going back to the moon. Like, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. 23.
Yeah, I forgot what they have planned. It's going to be in the next 3 years. I think they're going to be a manned mission. I think they have some more. I think if I'm not mistaken, they have some more unmanned missions they're going to do. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. Well, Doc can explain all that.
Doc can explain all of that. And finally tonight, I'm going to rattle off some of the best sci-fi movies. And they have never had, these little lists have never had a prequel or a sequel or a reboot or a remake or an adaptation or a TV show. Nothing. Should they have one? Here we go. It's kind of like a lightning round. Although actually I'd like for you guys to all say in the chat. So that's not lightning. But Rizzo's going to play the lightning round. Here we go. Oblivion.
What? Wait a minute. Back up again. What am I doing? I was reading comments.
Oh, sorry. Everyone's chatting. Okay. The very best sci-fi movies that have never had a prequel or a sequel or an adaptation or a remake or a reboot or a TV show or nothing. Should they have one, or should they leave well enough alone? Here we go.
So you're saying Oblivion?
Oblivion. I'm asking you. I tend to.
I don't think Oblivion needs a. I think it stands alone fine. I can't
remember how it ended. That's the Tom Cruise.
Well, it ended with the ship blowing, the alien blowing up. So they kind of got rid of them. And so that kind of.
Oh yeah, and then he went, and then one of his alternates went down.
Right, yeah. And they kind of went through the whole prequel bit. You saw what happened, how we ended up there.
So it doesn't need much of anything.
So I don't think it needs a prequel, and I don't know if it warrants a sequel.
But there's a whole bunch of Jack Harpers running around on that planet. right? No, or maybe not that many, but there's other Jack Russell.
I'm curious why you picked that one.
I didn't pick it. Who? Den of Geek? Was it Den of Geek? One of the websites that I did. All right, the first three are actually Tom Cruise. Edge of Tomorrow. That's the one where it's like a time loop one.
Thank you, Bill. That's what I meant. Man capable. They're arguing whether the Artemis was considered a man space.
Yeah.
No, there was no humans on it. There's nothing living.
No, there's mannequins.
But it would be a man. It was designed to be a man spacecraft.
Yeah, something that went out and came back. Sorry, our linguistics, our nomenclature. Our nomenclature was.
That's a good way to put it. It came back. All the other stuff went and kept going.
You guys knew what we meant. Come on.
Anyway, they like to correct us. What can I tell you?
Yeah, well, God forbid.
Anyway, so what other films were on your list there?
Edge of Tomorrow.
I haven't seen it, so I can't comment.
Minority Report. No, that doesn't need.
No, I don't think it needs I don't think. No.
Fifth Element. No.
Only because, again, you're going to just make it worse. Because that was a lightning in the bottle. I know I use that a lot, but that was a lightning in the bottle movie. I don't think without you can't recreate it.
I'm going to skip these two. Inception.
No, I didn't really care for that. I mean, it was okay. It was an interesting movie, but that was one of those movies that made your brain hurt.
Yeah, that is a brain hurt movie. The Martian.
How are you going to do a sequel?
How would you do a sequel? I mean, a prequel, maybe, or a TV edit. I don't know, but do we really need? No. Ready Player One. I think yes. I think
that could have a sequel.
Gattaca.
God, I don't even remember. I know I saw it, but I can't remember it.
It's Jude Law and Goop.
Was it Jude Law? I thought it was.
Was it Jude Law or was it the other guy? Was it Obi-Wan Kenobi? That was Jude Law.
Okay.
And move on. Galaxy Quest.
No, you can't do it. They were going to do it.
They were going to do it, and then
you can't do it now that Rickman
lost Alan Rickman. Yeah.
Rickman.
Interstellar. No, that's another brain hurt movie.
No, that movie you need to go and watch Looper videos to figure out so they can explain the ending.
What's going on? And E.T.
If Spielberg does it,
yeah,
I can see it working. If Spielberg is just like the executive producer and doesn't actually direct it, I don't know. Do we need Do we really need it though? I mean, that's what I'm saying. Why? My first question is: Is it? It's not so much. They'll always make it because they just want to make money. So if they can figure out the margin that they'll make a profit.
Thank you. Pablo from Mexico.
Oh, was that right? It was
Ethan Hawke. It was Ethan Hawke and Jude.
I was right.
Good job. Good job, man. Yeah, that was
very rarely am I right on something like that. So
maybe we'll do Gattaca one of these days. That was kind of an interesting.
I'd have to rewatch it. I have not seen it since forever.
All right, kids.
There's a lot of movies I think that would warrant a good sequel, and I think Galaxy Quest would have been ripe had they done it right away.
Right then, yeah.
Now everybody's too old, and of course with Alan passing, you got to have him in it. It doesn't work without.
It doesn't work. Yeah.
So. Yeah, no.
But I mean, those are good movies. Like those are great movies. None of them are stinkers.
But why do they? The only reason they feel a need to make a sequel is to make money. Like it's like, and I know that's why they make the movie in the first place. So it's a stupid comment, I guess. But I mean, to me, it's like you're just making some piece of crap just to make money, or is it really going to add to the story? Like Alien and then Aliens was a good continuation of that story, and it worked because it wasn't the same movie over again. It was a completely different movie, using the same character. You know what I'm saying? Because it went, you know what I'm saying? It was a different feel. The whole movie was different.
I do know what you're saying.
So that's what I'm saying.
A lot of these movies would have to do kind of like what we were actually talking about before the show started on the Planet of the Apes. At the end of the second one, they blew the planet up. So then they still made 3 more movies after that.
3 more movies.
That did not stop them.
Didn't stop.
Blown up the planet.
No, there was a lot of suspension of disbelief in those films. So we'll talk about that. We're going to do that in the new year.
Monkey Mess.
We're going to do all 5 Planet of the Apes movies.
We are. We're going to come back in January. We are going to do all 5 Planet of the Apes.
We're going to rip it apart in January.
I have a lot of studying to do. And with that, Rizzo, do we have a drink?
We do. do. Of course.
Shazam.
Shazam is the drink. And there he is, drinking the drink.
There he is, drinking
Pretty
the
good. Raspberry. I think this one would be tasty. Raspberry liqueur, apple pucker, cranberry juice, and lime juice. I mean,
what's apple pucker?
It's like a green apple liqueur.
Oh, green apple liqueur.
So yeah, I think that'd be quite tasty and refreshing.
Bill says, "Et stay home."
Et stay home. Yeah, exactly. So, so yeah, this one might be worth making.
Yeah, that one. Well, I don't have apple pucker, but
get some. I'm going to see you Saturday. Let me know. I'll do a liquor run.
I can do a liquor run.
But you're not that far.
The package stores around here are so.
Well, you're not that far from New Hampshire. Go to Nashua.
I know. When we go up on Route 3, there's this one.
I know. What do you think? New Hampshire puts them on all the highways.
It's on either side of the highway.
For those of you who don't know, New Hampshire, the state runs the liquor stores. Their state has the corner on liquor, not beer and wine, but just liquor. So we have grocery-sized liquor stores that sell beer and wine as well.
Jeff. Yeah,
and there we get it helps. It offsets our taxes, and we get very cheap liquor.
And that's kind of how Canada does it too. Canada has the Lickbo and the beer store, which is they separate them. The beer store's over there and the Lickbo's over there.
And so it's like we're not. So of course they put them on the highways at all the major intersections with other states. And
every time we drive by, we're like,
they're huge. They're all huge, even the ones even the ones that aren't near a highway are just like grocery store size. Yeah, we like our booze here in New Hampshire. Live free or die. Cheers.
Live free or die. Have a drink and get yourself some apple pucker.
Get some apple pucker. All right, so Shazam. I always remember this. Why, if you notice, my name here is Gomer Pyle today.
Oh, Gomer Pyle.
Because that's what Gomer Pyle always said. That he always say Shazam.
Did he just say Shazam?
Yeah, maybe he did.
Shazam. Yeah, maybe he did.
So of course, I grew up with the Saturday morning cartoon.
Yes, I did too.
And watched that and enjoyed that.
That was the Shazam ISIS.
ISIS, right? Was with ISIS. Well, ISIS came later. It was Shazam, and then she came. I don't think it was. They didn't air it. I think Shazam was like a year.
Yeah, it was Shazam at first,
and then ISIS came later.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. They were always together. They were on the same channel, so to speak, one right after the other. And I used to watch both of them. I didn't watch this when it came out. I think maybe because it looked a little too campy for me. I don't know. But I was wrong. I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was funny. I love the fact that, because you guys don't know, it's a 15-year-old kid who gets granted the power of Shazam. But they don't ever call him Captain Marvel. They dropped that entirely.
Can I actually run through that history like super quick?
Because of conflict
with and people might not know the history. So
Marvel has Captain Marvel, so that's
Marvel has. So let me actually
go ahead. Yes,
run
through the history of Captain Marvel.
Okay, so 1939. DC, or actually it wasn't even DC yet. It was a comic book company called Fawcett, which you notice is Fawcett High School. They had let me just pull up. They had their Captain Marvel, yay, and it was great. It was awesome. It outperformed Superman in the 40s. And whatever happened, Marvel Comics decided to sue Fawcett and sued them right out of existence. So it went to trial in 1948. Fawcett actually won. National Comics appealed. They got a new trial. By the time National won in 1951, Fawcett was bankrupt, and that was the end of that. So they got the cease and desist. They settled out of court. They agreed to never publish anything with Captain Marvel. And so Marvel had Marvel, and they were all happy. DC had a whole bunch of nothing. They had licensed Fawcett's characters, but they were not using them. Somewhere around 1967, DC was finally like, hey, we still license these characters, including this guy, Captain Marvel. We could actually be using him, but it was too late. Marvel had already gotten their greedy little paws on the lapsed Fawcett trademark, including Captain Marvel, and he became Marvel, who then became Carol Danvers, who then became Brie Larson. So as a result, even though DC actually did have the trademark, they couldn't do anything. It was all under the Marvel name. So they said, screw this, we're going to rebrand it. It's going to be called, we're going to retitle everything under Shazam. But it was just rebranded. It was not named. When you look at the comic book, it says Shazam, and then it says The Adventures of Captain Marvel in little letters underneath. So it never, and it wasn't until, so readers got really, really confused. They just started calling the character Shazam, and DC was like, all right, you know what, let's just roll with this. And it wasn't until 2011, they finally officially renamed the character Shazam. He actually still was Captain Marvel all those years. It was a weird situation. And I just oversimplified it for you. Like, it's even more complicated than that.
I knew there was a lot of convolution to the name, and that there was a headbutting with Marvel.
Yeah, there was a lot of back and forth.
And of course, Marvel being such a juggernaut, they're like, well, they are Disney now. I mean,
yeah, they are.
They're the Disney of comics, but they are Disney now.
They are the Disney of comics.
They are Disney of comics. So yeah, it's kind of interesting how that all came about. But again, when I was a kid, that was Captain Marvel.
He was Captain Marvel. Yeah.
I didn't even aware of the other Captain Marvel until much the Marvel version of Captain Marvel.
Britain had a Captain Marvel being published over in Britain, and there was one other Captain Marvel that got published, and both of them basically get sued out of existence. Like, Marvel is the Disney of Marvel, and they just
they'll crush anybody.
They just that was that.
Yeah, that's interesting. But here's the problem with calling him Shazam, because every time he can't say his name.
Why can't
he can't tell people? Because then he'll revert to the kid.
Oh. No, I think the movie kind of yada yada that. I don't know how that works in the comic, but I think the movie kind of yada yada.
He can't say, "Hey, I am Shazam." Poof, and he goes down.
Yeah, that's right. He's like, "Say my name," and they're like, "Billy." And he's like, funny. "No, the other name." Oh, Shazam. And anyway. Shazam, you guys already know. I know you already know this. Shazam is the wisdom of Solomon, S for Solomon, the strength of Hercules. One of them's Atlas. The M is Mercury. The other
Zeus.
A is
Z is Zeus.
I know what the other A is, and the other M is, I don't know, something. Z is Zeus.
Yeah,
Z
basically
Zeus,
they're all the Greek / Roman gods.
Yeah, it's all the Greek and Roman gods. Which Diana, Princess Diana,
Aphrodite, and then you have
Wonder Woman does too. And actually, you know what? Yeah. Actually, Aquaman has some Greek. He's Neptune and all that. Yeah, so I guess DC is down with the gods. Like, they just enjoy the whole. But here's what we're going to do tonight, or I'm going to do. I don't know what you're going to do tonight, but I am going to say, I'm going to go on a limb here and say, people say DC makes bad movies, and I largely agree with that. But I'm going to say that the first Wonder Woman and Shazam are the two exceptions, and I will defend Shazam tonight.
Okay.
You're like, I don't care.
They're different movies, I mean, they're both superhero movies.
Yeah,
but they were very different. They were definitely to me, they're like right now, in my opinion, at the top of if you take Batman out of the mix, just take Batman, set it aside, because Batman seems to be like its own genre. Like, I never think of it as a DC
since Tim Burton, since the Michael Keaton Batmans came back, then that it all got weird.
Yeah, but even like I didn't mind the Christian Bale Batman.
Did we have like 3 origin stories? Like they
just like Spider-Man. They keep remaking it.
Yeah, and the Hulk. They did it to Hulk too.
Yeah, Hulk. That was Marvel. Marvel couldn't get Hulk straight. They just it was a mess. The first one was. We don't even speak of the first Hulk movie. It was just.
Who was in the first Hulk? Was that Tim Norton?
No, that's the second one. I can't think of the guy. Somebody will know. I can't think of the guy's name. It's on the tip of my tongue. Not Banner? No. Banner's just I can't think of it. Somebody knows who the Hulk was.
Remind me of the first Hulk. I was okay with Tim Norton. He didn't bug me. Whatever.
Yeah, it was okay. But Gruffalo is much better.
Yeah, I know, not Gruffalo. Mark Ruffalo. I really enjoy Mark Ruffalo, and I really enjoy I enjoy the Ruffalo one.
Yeah, Mark Ruffalo is
like the two of them together is just fire. So
yeah.
Anyway, back to Shazam.
Back to Shazam. Shazam.
Oh, we want to say it like Batman. Yeah, we got off on this.
Shazam.
Shazam.
Sorry.
Shazam.
Eric Bannon. Thank you, Jeff. So I knew it was a B. See, Banner. I was just saying Banner.
Oh.
I was close.
Bill Sotek, what Star Trek connection are we talking about? Yeah, but there's
in Shazam, there is.
Ola from Mexico says Eric Bana as well. So
yeah,
what is the Star Trek connection? Because I failed to do my homework.
There's characters. There's actors. Who did I see that was?
Was it Mark Strong? I don't think so because I was looking through his IMDb.
No. Oh God, you made me look.
Yeah, you look because when I looked, I found nothing. I found a whole bunch of
there's at least
guys.
one. Yeah, there's
every visual effects and VFX
no,
artist.
It's an actor. It's an actor. It's an actor. It's an actor. Why can't I think of who it was?
All right, you do that. Anyway, this movie has
I'd
heart.
like to make a note of it too.
It's entertaining. It's got really funny moments. It sticks reasonably close to the original comic, although they do update it. It doesn't it maybe doesn't have the strongest bad guy you've ever seen, but that's okay. This was just his origin story. We just need to get the origin story out. It's got the nod to Black Adam. I think in the future they're working on the on Black Adam and Superman and Shazam all together in a movie. That would be cool. Did you see the little Superman nod at the very, very end of the movie?
Yeah, I know. And I was like, you couldn't get Henry Cavill to do that.
He couldn't. He was not available when they shot it. Everyone talks about that. But Henry, having Superman in the movie was the plan from the get-go. And Henry was apparently down for it. And when he was like, yes, I will do it. And then when they went to shoot it, he was, I don't know, doing The Witcher. I don't know what he was doing. He was doing something else and was not available. And so they actually used the guy who is Henry's stunt double to be the body, right? Just to be from here down.
Yeah. Well, anybody could have done that. I mean, because
Bill's talking about Eric Bana as our Star Trek. Yeah.
No, but there was somebody. Right. I know I saw because I mentioned I was saying, that person was in Star Trek, one of the Star Treks.
You have a sharper eye than I do because I did not.
It's gonna bug me now.
See anyone, and my search did not yield a whole bunch.
All right. Well, I don't want to sit here and be staring at a screen where
it wasn't any of the main people. It wasn't Jaimin Hansu.
No, it wasn't any of the main characters. It was a minor extra person that was in there.
Okay. Well, I might not have caught that anyway. Was it John Glover? Let's look.
No, I don't think so.
Well, I'm not going to sit here and do research live on air because I don't think people want to watch me Googling things. John Glover played the father, the bad guy's father.
He kind of plays the same guy.
Yeah.
He always kind of plays the asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting because when I was watching, that's that first scene with him with the bad guy.
You get the
and you're like, and he goes away, and then he goes, you're like, I'm like, was that just like a wasted thing, or is he gonna come this kid? And of course, and I was like, as soon as I saw what's his name? Mark Strong, I was like, oh, okay, that's the kid.
Yeah, he's brutal. He's so mad at his brother, he throws him out a window.
Throws him out a window without even thinking about it.
Doesn't even just you're gone. Woo. That's rough. Okay, so maybe he was a stronger villain than I initially thought.
Well, he plays a good villain.
He plays good villain in a lot of things.
Villains. He was great in.
And this is not his first comic book movie. He's done
he's done a bunch of stuff. He was the villain in Sherlock Holmes with Robert Downey Jr. And he did that really well. And I think that was one of the first things I saw him. He's also been in some other stuff.
He's been in a ton of stuff. You guys know Mark. You just don't know that you know.
Yeah,
Mark.
you probably recognize his voice more than his looks.
Yeah.
But he does play a very good bad guy. He's got that kind of bad guy.
And of everyone in that movie, I thought, oh, surely he's been in Star Trek. Nope. He was in Green Lantern as Sinestro. So that's probably where most people. And he was in Kick-Ass. Kick-Ass was kind of a fun movie. Maybe we should do Kick-Ass.
I have to watch it. I haven't seen it. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Babylon AD. That was a cool movie.
That was with Vin. Is that Vin Diesel?
That was with Vin Diesel.
So anyway, we're talking about Shazam. We're off the track. Hello, welcome to our show.
All right, moving on. All right, you want to run through this cute little plot, or do we care? Or do you just want to?
I mean, the plot is pretty obvious. the wizards are all gone except for one. They need a champion. They apparently are keeping the 7 deadly sins in check.
Yep.
Which manifest themselves as kind of these demon sort of guys.
Very cool.
And I guess the test is whether you are seduced by them when you're in their presence. I guess that was the test of whether you were good. My thing is, the kid kind of points it out. He's like, you're almost you're not going to find anybody that's pure of heart. It's just not. Yeah, it doesn't exist. Nobody's.
Yeah, so I think he compromises. I think Jaime Hansu.
Well, you can realize is at the point that he's got. There's nobody else. There's
nobody else, and he's about to die, so he needs to do it. And we get the Black Adam, and he's like, and we did try once before, and it didn't work out so well. And
that was the Black Adam reference that they just gave it to some random person apparently, and it didn't go well. But we do see that this kid, being a kid, and this is one of the things I liked about it, because it would be something that a teenager, if you were gifted with these powers and adulthood, all of a sudden, what would you do with them? A 50-year-old boy, what does he do? He goes to the liquor store, he buys beer, goes to a convenience store, he buys beer, and then he goes to a strip club. And he comes out with the wings because it said like free wings or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna need more money.
We need a lot more money. He goes. But then he starts but then he uses his powers and he robs the ATM.
Yeah, that's true.
So he does some bad stuff.
You know what? That's interesting. We see strength of Hercules. We see M Mercury speed. But the one thing is the wisdom of Zeus. We don't see a lot of wisdom. The wisdom of Solomon. Sorry.
I think the lightning is where he got Zeus. The lightning was
Zeus is lightning. Solomon's wisdom. We do not see a lot of Solomon in this kid. Not a lot of wisdom in this kid. But
he eventually
he's 14.
Gets it,
He's 14.
But that's the thing. You would expect it. You don't hold it against him because you know he's a 15-year-old kid, and that is exactly what a 15-year-old kid would do.
And you get, of course, and him and the foster brother, you get the whole like figuring out the powers montage.
Which was really a very. Did that not send you back to The Greatest American Hero?
Yeah.
I mean, that was the same. It was the same thing. It was like, okay, I can't figure out how to fly. He jumps and he falls. And, that was what was made Greatest American Hero so good.
He puts him in the box and he lights the box on fire.
Yeah. He doesn't tell him
until he busts out and he's mad at him. Yeah, he's doing flying bullet, and this.
That was a cute scene where he's checking off all the different.
He's checking them all off, and he's posting them on YouTube, which is so weird because then Batman would see them. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Batman should have been, because he doesn't like Superman, and I would say that
check on this. Like, what is this?
Powers are probably on par with Superman.
In the comics, Superman tells Shazam in the comics, Superman says, "I consider you an equal."
Yeah. He doesn't. Does he have the laser vision? No, he never. No, he doesn't have laser vision.
He doesn't have laser vision. I think he can shoot lightning or something from
his
eyes.
He does the lightning out of his hands.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
No. There was something out of his eyes. There was one of the montage clips was that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Was it in the movie or was it a deleted scene where they shoot him and he's just the guys robbing the store shot him in the chest? He's like, "Oh, hey, this is awesome." And then the stepbrother, the foster brother,
shoot him in the face. Just make sure it's not the face. Yeah, just make sure.
Shoot him in the face. Oh, okay. Wait.
It kind of tickles. No, it was done really well. In the sense that there was enough humor in it. It kept it, and it was for the most part family friendly. There was a few little dark parts when he's the Dr. Sivana, I guess is how you pronounce Sivana, throws his brother out the window and basically starts murdering people, and then the whole boardroom they're all locked in there, and the demon guys are killing everybody. Yeah, that was a little dark. That was probably the darkest part of it.
Yeah, but even the bad guy, like he's doing his. Do you remember the scene? They're both up in the air. And the bad guy starts monologuing.
Yeah, he's monologuing. I can't hear you. You're like a mile away.
Are you monologuing or are you kidding? I can see him.
I'm just gonna hit you.
Screw it. He just kind of goes for it.
Yeah, no, it was like I said. It was the writing worked really well. It made it funny. It didn't take itself too seriously.
No, it was very self-aware. It was a very self-aware movie.
I think if they had tried to make it serious, it wouldn't have worked.
I agree. I absolutely.
I think it needs that character kind of needs it because I don't know. I don't know if they tried to do it serious. I think it would have. I think it would have fell on its face. I think this seems to be a thing with when DC kind of goes outside of what you think they should do, is when the stuff works better. You know?
Well, given that my opening thesis was that this and Wonder Woman were the only two movies, I don't know if Wonder Woman really went outside.
Yeah, well, it was a little different.
Batman's just good no matter what they do to it. It's just people like it. Even
I
when
haven't
they
seen
hate
the
it,
current.
they
I gotta
like
watch the current Batman, the most recent one. But I
You haven't seen that one yet?
like the Christian Bale Batman.
You like Christian
that.
Bale. I
Even
kind
though
of
he was
lost patience with. You know what? I like Michael Keaton era Batman.
Well, I love you. Gotta love Keaton. You gotta love Keaton because that's also
I
our good
liked
friend,
Tim Burton. I
Tim
liked
Burton.
that
So
whole
you know,
feel.
with Tim Burton, you know,
Hi, Dennis.
you're gonna Hey, Dennis. Tim Burton's always gonna have that quirk to it, but I don't know. As much as I loved it, I don't think it's my favorite Batman as far as the actual Batman character.
Well, I mean,
it
Kevin
was a little
Conroy
too
will always be our favorite Batman,
but I loved it. I loved Jack Nicholson in it. I mean,
I loved
still
Jack.
one of my favorite Jokers.
Yes. And I liked
it goes like Mark Hamill and then Jack Nicholson
and Jack. Yeah.
So
Mark will always Mark's Joker.
Mark. Well, you see, because the thing is, maybe I like them better. And again, we're off topic, but I'm going to say this anyway. I like him because I love the Arkham series video games.
Yeah.
So and it was the same guy the guy that just passed, and his name escapes me.
Kevin Conroy.
That did the voice for that, and then Mark Hamill did the voice
for the Joker.
For Joker in those and in the cartoons and stuff. So they're all, to me, that was all connected, and it had that same darkness to it, and that hard kind of edge to it that they brought to that. So that's what I liked better than the more campier.
Yeah, version. I hear you.
So,
but anyway. Which looks better? So, but this does it. You may feel like it's a tangent, but it does tie back. Did this thing just work because they did go and not do what you expected them to, or did this just?
Well, I think you can't. I don't think you just pin that on it. I don't think you say, well, they went, made it funny, and they took it light, and I think that's why it worked. I think that is a factor, and I think it's a huge factor in why it worked. But I don't think it's the only. I think the writing was pretty good on this. It was clever. I think the overall story went well. I think they nailed what a teenage boy would do.
Yeah, they absolutely
in this
nailed
situation.
That.
I think they nailed it. Maybe he was a little bit innocent in the sense that somebody might be a little bit more twisted, but then they wouldn't be a superhero, right? They'd end up
it was cute. Yeah, he wouldn't have got his
So
I'm just thinking about your thesis that when they go outside the bar, because like Justice League was dark, the Snyder Cut, all that. It was just dark. There's just a lot of fighting. But then the Wonder Woman movie had a lot of heart to it. So I don't know. I just kind of grab, and I like the lighter Tim Burton's. I like this. I like the Wonder. I think I just gravitate for the lighter stuff. I don't tend to go toward. I didn't love the Aquaman movie. It was okay.
The one thing, just jumping over to Wonder Woman, the first Wonder Woman, because I didn't even see 1984.
No, you don't need to. Don't bother.
People have told me that it's so bad that I just avoid it. But when in that film, we did that, didn't we?
We did the first one. We didn't do 1984.
Yeah. So, and I think I said this then. I said what I would have liked to have seen actually with that was that there really wasn't the God of War there. I forgot the
Ares.
Ares
played by Professor Lupin.
Yeah, Lupin there. I would have liked it better that it was man is just bad, and it wasn't anything to do with a god causing our wars. It was just men. You know what I'm saying? She would come to that realization that it was. That's where I thought they were going, and then all of a sudden,
like after she kills Ares, bad stuff still keeps happening. I think she does realize.
Yeah, but I mean, to me, that was what I thought they were going to. The lesson to learn was that it's not. There is no God that is causing this. It's just man. It's just.
No, if there was no God, how was she made? Because that was
there wasn't presently. Because remember, he was like the last one, and he's coming back. And I don't mean that there never was one, but that he's not the one driving this world war. It's just a world war because men are generally not great people. In the human race, and the world will end up fighting each other. That's what I thought the lesson they were going to learn is that
Oh, John, hey, sorry. Yeah, I understand and I hear you. They didn't go there, but it still had a lot of heart. I thought John Haig is saying Shazam in the 70s was rather light. It was
Oh, it was
typical
very
campy
well. It was a kids'
70s
card.
stuff.
It was a
Um,
kids' Saturday morning show. It was
he
not
says,
meant.
I mean, he goes, there was a bad guy that was a worm. That's true because in the comics there's a bad guy that's a worm,
Well,
and
you know
actually
that
this worm we see this worm
we
in
see
the
the
post
worm at the
credit
very
scene.
end.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we do see the worm in this movie, and Marvell had a friend that was a speaker. Yeah, Tony Tiger. He had a talking tiger friend. Yeah, the comic was a little weird. So they had to
yeah.
kind of make
But
it
the
mainstream.
Saturday morning thing was made for kids. I mean,
The Saturday morning thing was very much made for kids. That ran 3 seasons. It starred. I can maybe tell you who it starred.
and then
Maybe I can.
they brought in
Like
the
Michael
sister. They
Gray and
brought in
Jackson
Mary
Foster.
Marvel. So they're gonna call Mary Marvel.
I don't know. Or are they just the Shazam family? The Shazam
They
family.
all
The
have to say the
Shazamily.
same word, I guess.
The Shazam fam. I don't know. I guess they can all say. And do they have to be all together to do it, or can they do it individually in separate places?
Don't know. They didn't really flesh that part
They
out.
kind of yada yada that part.
Well, they didn't yada yada. They just it wasn't necessary for the end
It
of the
wasn't
movie.
necessary. Yeah.
We didn't need to see that. We'll see it probably when they come back. We'll see whether they can do stuff individual. I thought it was kind of crappy when the crippled kid there with the crutches went back to his normal thing. He still needed the crutches.
I know, right? Like, imagine being able to fly and do all this stuff, and then when you get back into kid form, you're like, "Oh, right, I need that.
Yeah,
I
I
need my
thought that was
brace."
like, man, at least he got some kind of residual effect that at least fixes his leg. Oh well. But should we go through the cast?
Yeah, we can zip through this cast, but there was no one. I shouldn't say
Well,
there's
there's a few. Mark, like you said, Mark Strong. I think is
and
probably one
Zach
of the
Levi. You
notable.
guys know Zach Levi. Just he's usually doing comedy, which this was comedy, I guess. So
Yeah, I did not recognize him from anything else.
he's
Honestly.
around. He does some Robot Chicken. He did some Family Guy, a lot of voice work.
Well, that's what if he does voice work, I wouldn't recognize.
No, wait, he was in Psych. Hang on, he was in Thor. He was Fandral. That's who he is. So Fandral, which is one of Thor's 3 buddies, there was played by one guy the first movie, and then by Zach the next 2 movies.
Yeah.
So
Now,
technically, Zach has been in both Marvel and DC. You go, Zach.
yeah, and I'm pronouncing his wrong. Demon is it? Is the J silent?
Jaimin Hansu.
Hunso.
Jaimin Hansu, we know him. He was in,
Hansu?
I want to say, 12 Years a Slave or something.
Well,
Yeah,
he was in. Isn't he the one from Guardians of the Galaxy? He's the one
yeah,
that finally
no.
calls him Star Lord, and he goes,
that's what
"Finally!"
Jaimin Hansu. Hang on, my mouse.
He's in
Guys,
Guardians. He's the
He
guy.
is the only person to have been in 2 Marvel movies now because Shazam's a Marvel, and then he was in Captain Marvel.
Right. Well, and he was also in Guardians of the Galaxy.
I don't remember him Guardians of the Galaxy. I think
He was in the first Guardians of the Galaxy. He was the very first guy that he fights on the planet right in the beginning.
Oh,
That shows up looking.
Was that Jaimin or was that?
And then towards the end, because he says, when he introduced, I'm Star Lord. He's like, no, I don't know who you are. And then at the end, when they're fighting the big fight at the end, and he goes, Star Lord, and he goes, and then Peter Quill finally goes, finally somebody gets.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Star-Lord, right.
Just back to Zach Levi real quick. If you watch Tangled, he played Flynn Rider.
Okay.
So, yeah, no one. He's around. You know him. You just don't know that you know.
Yeah,
him.
but you're right. Most of the other actors and actresses are kind of nobody of real note.
He was on Chuck. He played on Chuck. If you watched Chuck, he played on. Yeah, he's around. You just don't know it.
In like Cooper Andrews, he was in Walking Dead.
The kids, I largely don't know. I've kind of looked through the stuff they did, but I don't watch kids movies. I just don't. John Glover, you just don't know that you love him. We're the 2 foster parents not the coolest people. Like, foster care gets slammed all the time, and foster parents are depicted as being awful, which is probably the reality. But it was just so nice and refreshing to see like 2 cool, loving people who are actually trying to like take care of these kids and do the right thing. Like, that was nice.
Yeah. No, it was, again, it adds to the
father was really funny.
Yeah, I mean, but it adds to the whole family kind of feeling to this
Yeah, it
movie.
adds to the family thing, which
Yeah,
kind of just drives it all home at the end when they become the Shazam fam.
right. I know it was pretty crappy because you're wondering, like in the beginning, we see how he ends up being a foster kid, and he gets lost from his mother in a crowd at like a fair or something.
Yeah,
And
that's
you're
a
always sitting
scary
there going,
thought
"Well,
for
wait
me.
a minute, wasn't this woman looking for her
I
child?"
think we're
Like,
looking for a child. You're like, what the
and
hell?
then of course we find out later that she purposely, which anybody who's a parent, I don't know how anybody could just walk away from it. Even if you didn't, I mean, you're just going to leave the kid.
Well, they didn't depict her as like
How
being strung
cruel would
out or
that
on
be?
drugs or
Yeah.
drunk. She
But
wasn't.
how selfish of a person do you have to be to
Yeah,
say, well, you're going to be better with
she saw the
them
kid
than
with the
me?
cops. She's
Yeah.
like, you know what? He's better off. I'm out. That's cray right there.
It's nuts because you're like, at least if you say, well, okay, I give you it up, I don't know, just abandon them like that was horrible. I was like, wow, that's pretty harsh. So
But
anyway,
he had no memory. He was a big boy by then. He had zero memories of this woman. Yeah.
no, he did. I think he obviously remembered the whole compass thing. I mean, he was probably about 4 years old, maybe.
Old enough to be, yeah, 4 or 5. Yeah.
I'm guessing. So he probably had some memory of her, but he probably didn't have a very clear memory of what she looked like. I just think it's funny that because I think a parent would recognize their child even after 10 years.
I would think so.
It wasn't like he was a baby. So I think, but she's like, I don't know who you are.
Yeah. Oh, I think
anyway, so. That's just, those are minor little plot holes.
That's neither here nor there. It was
they're not really important.
Yeah.
I think they put that scene in there just so he could realize that the foster family is now really
his family.
His family.
Yeah. And they had the scene with Mary. She didn't want to leave. She's like, I just found my family, and now I don't. She's going to go to college or something.
She's going to go to college.
Found my family, and I don't want
to go to Berkeley or somewhere across the country.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of good family kind of driving home that family feel in this movie, which I'm fine with that. Don't bug me.
It's kind of a feel good, it's like I said,
it is kind of a feel good. Yeah.
If they're old enough to take the little bit of violence. Excuse me.
The bullies at school were horrible. But then they dropped their car. They dropped their trucks.
Yeah, he wrecked their truck. That was but that was so funny. They just park it on the sidewalk, like, oh,
yeah, they just would pull up and park. We had rules at my high school.
They were kind of like over the top. Of course, there's the thing where he saves them from the Ferris wheel at the end.
Yeah,
and he gives them the suitcase wedgie. So he goes, am I getting a suitcase wedgie? as he flies off with them in his hands because they, it's kind of funny.
And then he makes good with all the kids at the very end when he
because he shows because everybody, that whole scene where he was supposed to show up at the school and he blew the kid off, and then they all thought he was lying, that he knew.
Yeah, they thought he was lying. What else was cool about this movie that I can talk about real quick? I love the demons: lust, envy, sin, gluttony, sloth, and lust, envy, sin.
Yeah, I like the part where he goes, I mean, I thought lust would be a lot hotter.
Lust was lascivious. Lust kept he had a long tongue and he kept
it was just like, I thought lust would be a lot hotter. It's like that's kind of a good. That's what I'm saying. They'd stick in these little lines. These little
moments. Yeah,
they were pretty.
It was just it was really self-aware movie. Like they knew that they were making, they were kind of making fun of the genre in a way. And that scene where, are you monologuing right now? Like,
that was good.
Are you doing your villain's monologue right now? Like, that's a very self-aware moment.
It reminded me of The Incredibles.
Yeah, it reminded me of The Incredibles. Yeah. You got me
monologuing. You sly dog.
You sly dog.
It's gonna bug me. I'm almost gonna go back and rewatch to see where there was a Star Trek actor. I remember saying, "Oh, there's a Star Trek connection."
Okay, well,
and I remember seeing it when I can't remember who the hell it was.
You think I wasn't finding anything on that, so I kind of gave up my search. But I admit I ended a little prematurely. So if I should have dug a little deeper, guys, you should let me know. All right, let me look at my notes. I think we've hit all the highlights of Shazam. Have I successfully defended? Oh, wow. Alan Alda, F. Murray Abraham, Michael Keaton, and Tony Shalhoub were all being considered for the Wizard Shazam before it went to Jaimin Hanso. Actually, somebody else was being considered too, and he couldn't do it. So they moved on to Jaimin.
I think it worked.
Yeah, I think it
I
worked
don't
perfectly.
see any. I can't see Alan Alda doing that.
I couldn't either. Have I successfully defended Shazam from the DC bad movie curse?
I think it certainly helps them. I don't know what it is with DC and why they can't seem to get their crap
I don't know either.
together and like Marvel does. Now, I'm not saying everything Marvel has put out has been
Perfect. No, that's true. That's
as
true.
perfect or even that great. Some of them have stunk.
Yes.
The second and third Iron Mans were not
Third
great.
Iron Man was weak. Or the second
Yeah, third one especially, but the second one wasn't that great either. The first one was great.
First one was awesome. They could have done more of that, but
Yeah.
no.
So I don't know what the Hulks are bad.
The Hulks are not
The
strong.
two Hulks are not strong. So it's like they have their stinkers.
I'm a lover, but
What's that?
people either love or hate those Thor movies. I love them, but some people don't like that whole look and tone.
I liked the first one, and I liked Ragnarok.
I'm okay with Guardians of the Galaxy. Those are
Guardians
great.
of the Galaxy is great.
See, I like Love and Thunder. I thought Love and Thunder.
Love and Thunder was okay. It was the other one, the second one that I'm not.
Ragnarok, yeah.
No,
Ragnarok,
that was the third one.
Kick-ass.
No, that was the third one. There's four Thor movies.
Oh yeah, the second one was a little weak.
I can't think of the name of the second one, but the second one was a little weak. But Ragnarok kicked butt all over the place.
Ragnarok was great. That scene where he's like coming in, they're all like piling up, and he's coming in like this direction. Like this way. That was awesome.
No, they did that one well. But what is it with DC? I mean, I watched. It's 2 hours of 2.5, whatever it was of my life. I can't get back.
Dark World. Thank you, Jeff. Thor: Dark World.
Yeah, Dark World. Yeah, I can't get. Aquaman was not good.
Nope, Aquaman was not strong at all.
I saw Justice League, the original version. I did not watch the director cut.
BVS was why Martha? Oh wait, that's my mom's name too.
Yeah. That was when I saw the trailer for that. I was like, "Are you kidding me? They're gonna do this?"
Yeah, there's no need.
And I mean, it made it actually it wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. Batman versus Superman. I didn't. I mean, I kind of got the premise of why. I guess once I kind of understood what the premise was, but it was too dark. Superman shouldn't be that dark.
No, it shouldn't.
That's what I'm saying. I think Superman. I still love Superman. To me, I know is Christopher Reeve and those.
Yeah,
that's Superman.
But truth, justice, and the American way back when.
Yeah. I mean, it's just he's not. He's yes. I know they're trying to make him more human, but he's not human for one thing. And B, it's like that's not who Superman is. Superman doesn't have any negative. That's the character. He always does the right thing. So whatever.
Yeah. So yeah,
but
DC is very hit or miss. They've been taken over by James Gunn. We will see what goes on and what's coming out. People like they praised Black Adam left, right, and center. The critics did, with all the before it came out, all the pre-reviews were like, "Yes, it's great, it's awesome." Then the movie actually came out, and the people, the fans, were not as in love with it as the critics were. So, although now that I see the Black Adam Shazam connection, I want to go see Black Adam. So I don't know.
I'll wait till it comes out on.
Yeah, I'll wait for
HBO Max or whatever it comes out on. I'll watch it then. See, I'm always not really into those type of movies, so I have to watch them when she's like not around. So it's kind of hard. Like I save up certain things to watch, like Rick and Morty and stuff like that she's not really into.
Bill Sotek is saying my first Superman was George Reeves. Wow,
that's going back, dude.
That's going back, Bill.
That's going back. Yeah. Oh, I mean, I used to watch those. I take it back. I used to watch those in reruns on like whenever on the they used to run that black and white versions and reruns. I remember.
Oh yeah, sure, that was on TV.
But it still wasn't to me.
I think my first Superman.
I've never, full disclosure, I've never been a huge Superman fan to begin with. Maybe because he's always been just so perfect kind of guy, but it wasn't until Christopher Reeve Superman that that was Superman to me. Maybe it was John Williams' score. You talk about a score that rivals Indiana Jones. Of course, they're made by the same
Immediately
guy.
recognizable. Bum,
That
bum,
one probably, because it's the
bum,
same kind
bum,
of feeling
bum,
when you hear that
bum,
music.
bum, bum,
You
bum,
think
bum.
Superman, exactly. You think
Yes.
boom, it takes you right to
Yeah,
there
it
when you
does.
hear that thing.
Absolutely.
That theme. This is just like Indiana Jones when you hear that.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
boom,
John
you're there.
Haig. Yeah, their catchphrase was "You'll believe a man can fly." Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, my first Superman was probably animated. It was probably Super Friends. Because
And then that's the thing.
I
You grew
got
up with
Superman, and then I got Aquaman and Wonder Woman, and I don't know.
Meanwhile, the Hall of Doom.
And I had the Wonder Twins. I had to have them.
Do you know whose voice that was that did the Hall of Doom?
In the Hall of Justice.
You know who that was? Ted
Yeah.
Knight.
Was it really? Yeah, that sounds about right.
Meanwhile, at the Hall of Doom.
Meanwhile.
So yeah. Well, I remember sidebar when I was a fireman. I was volunteering in my town growing up, and growing up, I was just 18. Me and my friend used to do that before we go into the buildings, do this Wonder Twin powers activate.
I thought you were going to say because fire halls always kind of look like that.
No, we used to do the Wonder Twin thing.
Wonder Twin powers activate. Form of something water. Form of
yeah,
something
a little funny. We always say form of a garden hose because that's what.
Form of a bucket of water. Well, how are you going to fight the bad guy with that? Just watch.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole Super Friends thing. Then you had Marvin and and the dog, and they always had like the couple and the dog. Like, what is that with the 70s? Like, it was always the couple, the boy and the girl, and a dog. It was it's like always a thing. So anyway, it's almost 8:00. I can't believe we talked all this about this movie. It seems like we didn't really cover a lot of it, but I mean, there's not a lot of meat in this movie. No, it's mostly because really the first 3/4 of the movie is just him playing around with his powers.
Yeah. Nothing really bad happens until
the bad guy catches up to him.
It's just him figuring out his powers with his foster brother, which is hilarious.
So, and it's so that's really it. So I think it'll be interesting to see the next movie because they won't have that crutch to lead on.
They won't have that, but hopefully they still stay as irreverent and with their tongue firmly planted in their cheek, as all these kids now have to figure out their powers and bond together to do whatever. I don't know who the bad guys are.
I assume they all have the same power.
No, maybe they wouldn't. Because the Darla, she was really slow in real life. Like she was always the last one to get her coat on and the last one to tie her shoes. And then she had super speed when she was.
Yeah, well, I think they all had the super speed, right?
Maybe
she was faster than the rest of them. I don't know. I got the impression.
Then don't you get those same?
Although the one guy seemed stronger than the other ones. At least he was more muscular.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't know. Well, I guess we'll find out in the next movie. I got the impression that all their powers were similar because he kind of shared.
Yeah.
But maybe not. Or was it because he had all the other wizards' power in the staff, so to speak, or whatever, and he
broke the one. Well, no. Yeah, he broke the staff after
he broke it after he gave them, right?
Yeah.
So
you don't make any more new Shazams now?
You can't make no extra Shazamos. Well, maybe by then he'll have enough wisdom.
Which is interesting because there was a deleted scene. They go back to their lair, their headquarters, whatever, and they're sitting on the thrones. Then there's 6 of them, and they look, and there's a 7th chair. So they were mentioned.
It is the 7 deadly sins.
Oh, the 7.
So there were seven wizards for 7 deadly, I guess, equal.
But there's only 6 of them, so I think they broke that staff prematurely. They need one more Shazam.
Maybe we'll see it. Well, unless Black Adam is the 7th.
But he's a bad guy.
But he's a bad guy. Well, he wasn't originally.
Well, he's questionably legal. John Haig is singing "Me and You" and a dog named Boo. Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier, Jeff. He's asking. He says, "Correct me if I'm wrong. Shazam is Solomon, Hercules,
Atlas, Zeus, Achilles, and Mercury."
Yes,
you're absolutely right.
You are correct.
Wisdom of Solomon, strength of Hercules. I don't remember what Atlas does.
Atlas held up the world.
Strength. So Hercules has endurance, and Atlas has strength. Zeus is Zeus. Achilles was Mercury was speed. Achilles,
no, I don't think it's Achilles. It's
hang on, I wrote it down. It is Achilles. Hang on.
Is it Achilles? Was the guy that his
okay.
He was a Greek
Wisdom,
soldier.
strength, endurance, power. Achilles has power. Fighting skill. Oh no, Zeus has power. Achilles has fighting skill.
Yeah, because that's how we remember the Achilles heel.
Mercury's speed.
Atlas is stamina, Sue was saying. Okay, that makes sense. He held up the world.
Yeah, endurance and stamina. Yeah, Zeus is just sheer
Remember,
power.
Atlas is holding up the world.
Yeah, Atlas
Where
holds
we
up.
got the word Atlas for mount.
Hercules. That's just strength.
Hercules.
All right,
that
kids.
was a funny movie.
That was a funny movie.
I think I had to watch it twice. I saw it in the theater, but I was laughing so hard. I missed half the next jokes. So,
Hercules.
anyway.
All right, moving on.
Well, it's after 8 o'clock. So anyway, if you haven't seen this film, I assume everybody has, but if you haven't, watch it. It's worth it. And it's cute. It's fun. It's a good popcorn movie.
Done right.
We
good popcorn fun movie.
Maybe we'll start rating things by how many
family over.
How many
Christmas,
bags of popcorn would you give it?
It actually starts at Christmas. The opening.
Yeah, that's why I said, is this a Christmas movie? We didn't really talk about that, but I did mention that on our post about this. Like, it does take place, so it can be a Christmas movie if you want it to be a Christmas
Theoretically,
movie.
It could be a Christmas movie. So hey.
So
all right, let's see what's going on with other people here. Roy's
pulling another obscure one out of the
Roy, and he's doing it on different time and channel. When you change Roy, we get all confused. Roy is going to be Thursday, December 22. 1970s version of Scrooge. Now, admittedly, there are 1,000 different versions of Scrooge, but Roy will explain why this one is special. And Captain Phil is going to be doing his annual Captain Phil's Planet Holiday special, featuring his friend Anne-Marie Strauss, and they're going to perform The Grinch with Captain Phil as the Grinch.
Oh.
So that'll be fun.
That sounds good.
So that's all tomorrow at 3 p.m. And Rizzo, what do we have?
Next week, we are kind of breaking from sci-fi, and we are going to do a Christmas vacation.
Christmas vacation.
So, get your.
Why is the carpet wet, Todd?
Yep. Make sure your RV black tank is empty. And make sure you have enough power for your lights so you don't blow the neighborhood.
And check the tree before you bring it out.
Don't make sure there's nothing living in the tree. And hopefully your bonus won't be a Jelly of the Month club. And
don't give your employees a Jelly of the Month as their Christmas bonus when they want to.
If you haven't seen it, it's one of the better of that.
I think the best of the National Lampoons. Yeah. This one for me is number one.
Out of the the original's still the best, but out of the
Wally World one, I'm doing Christmas Vacation.
It's good. They're both good, but I think original always gets the nod. But that's
Pablo from Mexico is saying I should say it. I should say it. Do it say the
Where are you seeing? I'm not seeing anything from in the chat.
Grab my phone.
Oh, okay. Let's say I don't see it in the chat.
A friend is texting me.
Okay.
He was Pablo from Mexico one time. Well, I don't know what it was, but he put Hola in the chat. I don't remember what the heck was going on, but
whatever.
Somehow he became Pablo from Mexico. So
okay, that sounds a little. That's just getting a little. Careful there, Mary Beth. You'll get canceled.
No, I won't get canceled.
Anyway, all right, guys. It is after 8 o'clock. I'll let everybody go. We'll see you next week. I hope everybody's got their Christmas, Hanukkah, Festivus shopping done. Yep. Whatever you're doing,
get it all done.
And you're getting ready for the holidays. I can't believe Christmas is a week and a half away.
Flew to us this year.
It's amazing, and I'm not done yet. So
we will be ready to have a good laugh next week because it'll be like right before Christmas. So
by then I should be ready to go for
have a laugh. So. It'll be a great night.
I think right now we're going to take that week between New Year's, Christmas and New Year's off.
Yes,
give us a little break.
When we return strong. We return strong.
We're gonna do all 5 Planet of the Apes movies at one show. We're gonna the originals from the 70s. So the good, the bad, and the monkey. I guess we'll call it.
The bad and the monkey. Yeah.
All right, guys. Good night. Live long and prosper. I got to get my hand in the camera there, and we'll see you next week.
Tilly says bye.
Bye.